morning and thank you for joining me. Yep, it's morning here as I'm doing my voiceover, and it's a rainy, not pretty day. So today I'm going to show you how I use the Love Notes. It's the Kiwi Club for February. I'm going to create a 9 by 12 layout. I'm trying to move into the 9 by 12 layouts because I'm a one-page scrapper, and I feel like 9 by 12 gives me a little bit more freedom. I'm also a one picture usually. I don't really do more than one picture at a time. So for layouts that'll have just the one picture, I think I'm going to go with the 9 by 12. So as you see, I'm trying to pick papers, and I was looking to frame the side of my page using this pink and polka dot, and I think at this point I am going to use the a la carte curly that came with the kit for the month. And as you can see, it doesn't really take much to use Kiwi Lane, so if you've been on the fence, this is a great way to get your stuff scrapbooked. Especially if you're like me, who has a lot of older pictures. I have probably a few thousand pictures that haven't been scrapbooked. I started scrapbooking about 12 years ago, and my kids were already teenagers at this point. Well, at least one of them was a teenager. The other two were pretty close to being teenagers, and that definitely means that I have a lot of pictures that are just, you know, double and triple printed and just waiting to get on a page. You'll soon, I think my next series, you will see me pull out some of the older pictures and use them with new items, and I'll show you how I try to balance the two. Now I'm going to use my favorite distress ink, which is the Hickory Smoke. I like the Hickory Smoke because it's not too dark, and it's more in the gray tone, and I like the gray tones, and especially in this collection that there are gray papers, I feel that it stands out a lot nicer than if I would have used a brown. But again, that's just my opinion. You can use whatever color you'd like. So I'm going to glue down, and I am using the Scotch ATG gun, and I use it sometimes. I feel that, I mean, I have a few different adhesives on my desk, and whatever I end up pulling at that moment is what I'm using. It's not my favorite. It's very big and clunky. I have been using it for 10 years. This is actually my third gun. I've gone through 3 of them in a 10-year period. That you do get a good bang for your buck, because you do get a, you know, like I think it's 45 feet of adhesive, whereas the smaller tape runners might only give you like 17 or 18 feet. So here I'm straightening out my paper, and I'm going to cut, oh, that's not what I wanted. I want to make sure I have I'm going to cut about an inch off of this paper, and I'm going to distress the right edge of my paper. And at first I was just going to stick it on like that, and that didn't really, that's not how it's going to end up. You will see it shortly, what I will do. I'm looking through my different templates to see which one I want to use, but I think I'm going to settle with none of these. I'll be honest with you. It's a very simple layout. And I was not really feeling any of the choices that you're seeing here. And I'm going to keep this footage in just so that you see that, you know, everyone sometimes struggles a little bit, and it's okay. You just, you know, keep going. I am going to frame my pictures, and yes, you can definitely use the photo frame templates. I personally Uh, just eyeball it because for me, it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's going to sit and critique my layouts, at least not more than I would critique them. So I'm okay with just eyeballing it. And sorry for the glare on the picture. That is my daughter and her boyfriend. So I'm going to start pulling some of these cards out to see what I want to use to layer over my picture, or under my picture, rather, not over. And I see this love you card, and I decide I'm going to use the heart to heart to cut the word love you out of it. And I think at this point I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do with the hearts. So while I'm cutting this out, I just want to mention that if you are looking into Kiwi Lane, or you have any questions at all, feel free to either instant message me or direct message me. I'm not sure what YouTube calls them. You can find me here. You can find me on Instagram or on Facebook. All my information is in the description of how you can find me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. I will also tell you that I will be having a 500 subscriber giveaway. Kiwi Lane is not sponsoring this. This is purely from me. I am sponsoring this one. And that is just to show you guys, my subscribers, that I appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to reaching that milestone. So here's a way that you can give yourself a little mat. You just slide it. And at first I was going to eyeball it and do it with just a scissor, but it's kind of hard to do a heart. If it would have been just a square, I could do it. And you just kind of slide it, give yourself the space you need. And the good thing is, since the templates are see-through, you can place it and move it around to give you the space that you need. I hope you can see that. The pink, I felt that I needed something behind the heart because of where I was going to place it. There was not going to be any contrast. It was going to be gray on gray, and I felt like I needed a little separation between the two layers. And that pencil that you see there is a mechanical pencil by, oh boy, I want to say Penta. Oh, wait, here it is. It is by Papermate, and it is purple, and it works great, especially when you're doing dark colors and you might not be able to see a pencil mark. It works excellent on dark colors, and they have them in purple, they have them in red. I just happen to use the purple today. So here I'm looking for placement, and I have these two cards, which I'm not sure if I'm going to use. That heart is definitely going to happen. Not there, but you'll see. And here's a form of distressing your paper to, I'm just going to cut little slivers from my paper so that the black kind of peeks behind it. And sorry for the cable. I didn't realize that my cameras, that's my iPhone charger, and I record with my iPhone. I didn't realize that the cord was hanging there. Eventually I noticed, and I will correct it. So this is a close to my heart distressing tool. Tim Holtz has one. There's quite a few different brands, and basically what it is like a little blade in between those little crevices, and it distresses your paper. So as you can see, I have distressed the edge of the paper, and now I'm just going to stick my little black sliver of paper, or it's about 1/4 of an inch, and before that I'm going to ink the edge. and then I'm just going to stick it down. And as you can see, there's a little bit of adhesive there, and it's either going to rub off with my finger, or I will probably use one of those adhesive eraser thingies. So here's where I decide that I'm going to do a heart banner. And I will start cutting out my hearts. I'm sorry that I'm out of picture, but sometimes it's kind of hard to cut away from your direct vision. And as you can see, I'm just going to look for a couple other. Oh, and here I'm going to decide to make, again, this heart a little bit. I'm going to mat this one as well. And I'm just going to stick it down so it doesn't move. And as you can see, I'm making it so that there's an overhang, and just sliding it up and around my heart so that I can have about 1/8 of an inch of a mat. You can basically do that with every one of your templates. So in this series, I will be showing 2 other videos, and actually 3 other videos. It'll be another a 2-page layout and 2 cards, and I think another single page 9x12 layout, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. Now I seem to be having a some brain fog, but so I'm going to speed this up a little, because honestly, you probably have an idea of how I'm cutting and how I mat my pictures. So hang on for a second while I speed it up a bit. Okay, so I finished cutting all my hearts, and as you can see, I've matted a third heart, and now I'm just going to figure out what paper I'm going to use to give my picture another matte. And I'm going to go with the gray, and as you can see, once again, I will eyeball it. I'm going to distress this gray part of it so that there's another area of my picture of my page that's distressed with the distressing tool. And I'm also going to ink my picture. So I was looking for these little phrases, and that isn't exactly what I was looking for, but I'm going to cut a little tag, and I believe that's charmed. Let's see. Yes, charm number 3, and that's kind of like a tab. Put a little too much adhesive on that. And here we go. I found my title, Forever and Always. And I'm going to ink. And I'm going to use the Notions 5, and it's kind of, I just want to use the little edges, little banner edges. I was thinking of using the arrow, but I don't think I'm going to use it there. And I'm cutting out another small heart. And that's the heart-to-heart template. a la carte, which I'm going to use to just frame my little flag. So yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what else I want to add to this layout, and I don't think I will be adding anything else other than two other hearts. Oh, and this arrow. I was going to use the one that came with the kit, but it was too long for what I wanted. So I'm using arrows number 2, and I will cut it out of this black and gold paper, or black and, I'm not sure if that's craft color. I feel like it's more like a gold. And I'm going to ink my edges again, and that's going to kind of point up. And here's where I decide to add 2 more hearts to go between, as you can see, the space in between the love you and the other hearts. So they're going to be small hearts. So I'll go ahead and ink that and add that to my page. And I absolutely love how this page turned out. Make sure you wait till the end. I will have close-ups of this layout. It definitely is probably one of my favorites. I realized that I had cut the heart in the wrong, or traced the heart in the wrong direction, so I erased it and retraced. I'm going to again ink. Again, you can use whatever color you'd like. I personally really like the distressed hickory smoke. I've also, maybe one of my future videos, I will do, I will match up the colors of the paper with the distress inks so that you can see what that looks like if you decided to use other colors other than the gray or a brown background. It'll give you a totally different look. And again, I don't really, I've been a creature of habit. I have been pulling out the hickory smoke, but I do have other colors and will try using, just so that you guys can see what it looks like. So here I'm adding everything, I'm gluing everything down. I am, okay, so now I'm going to look for a piece of fun foam so I could back my picture, my little sign thing. I just want to mention that fun foam is, I was asked the other day if fun foam was archival safe or lignin free. It is not. It's obviously not from the scrapbook aisle. I mean, actually, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it is, but here's my 2 cents. For the most part, our scrapbooking is done on a desk that is not necessarily archival safe, because anything that you put your papers on, meaning your tabletop or your, you know, perhaps the places that you keep your things, you know, whether it's a shelf or whatever, uh, is not technically archival safe. I feel that that whole archival safe, you know, and lignin free, well, that's a little different, but the archival safe, um, once you scrapbook and you're not using gloves, I feel like that whole archival safe kind of goes out the window. There is absolutely no way that I could scrapbook with gloves on. If my pages last 20, 30 years, I'd be happy with that. Even 50 years. I have old photo albums that were probably 30, 40 years old, and I can tell you that they were not archival or any type of safe. They were those stick-on ones that you stuck your pictures onto, and pictures look perfect. So I don't really worry about that too much because I'm not scrapbooking for a museum. I'm scrapbooking for myself and for my family. Nobody in my family scrapbooks. I am the only weirdo, and that's what they call me. I'd rather go scrap, you know, the Hobby Lobby or Michael's than to go to the mall or shopping at any other store. So I'm not 100% sure about the archival safeness of the thumb foam. I don't think it is, but I really don't care. So if that's something that bothers you, then, you know, obviously, you know, do what you need to do for yourself. I personally, it doesn't matter to me. So here I am gluing on some little wood veneers. And I'm also using some little heart epoxy stickers. And I believe those are from Eyelet Outlet. I get them every year at Scrapbook Expo. Same thing with these little circles. And I'm just going to sprinkle them up my page. And I'm going to take off a little glue there with my adhesive remover. And here I'm thinking if I want to do some paint splatters, which I will be doing. I was trying to look for a color that matched either the red, but I didn't have the right shade of that red color. As you can tell, I'm pulling some out, and that I end up not using either one of those, and I will end up using my Distress ink. I believe it is the Black Soot, and it's a Distress Oxide. And just, oh, actually it's not a Distress Oxide, it's just a regular Distress ink. And I am going to use my fan brush to just sprinkle some of the black ink. And with this brush, you get very, very small splatters. So if you're not looking for anything big, then this is the perfect brush. The splatters are tiny. And here I'm going to just use my Kaiser Craft Gold, and I'm going to just use the end of the dispenser thingy or whatever it's called. And I'm going to write my journaling at the bottom of the page. So here I could see that I'm going to start journaling, and I'm going to be using a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen in black. And while I write my journaling, I just want to say thank you for watching. Stay tuned to the end. I will have some pictures of the layout. There will also be links to other videos that maybe you're interested in watching. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you all soon. Have a great day.